what's wrong. Let it all out of me. I can see it in your eyes that you're shaking, 'cause you're holding it back. Maybe you'll make up your mind now when I'm here by your side. I'm here. Let it all out of me. Let it all out of me. Oh, I will hold you in the dark, make you forget about what's wrong. Let it all out of me.
All right. Well, we didn't get any callers. But you know what? I have a large amount of faith that this is going to turn into something. And it's going to take a couple of episodes before we slowly roll into something big and something great. But we were talking about episodes that we want to get into before January 23rd, so that way we know what we want to watch and we know what's going on with Picard, so that way we feel like we aren't just only getting half a storyline. Annie put together a good list of some shows or some movies to watch, and I'm going to hand the floor over to her. So she's going to let you know, and then we're going to sign off with what we're going to be speaking about next week. And next week, it'll be a fun topic of discussion, and we hope to find new listeners. So, Annie, why don't you tell everybody what it is?
All right. Well, this is actually from Newsweek. Yes, I researched the heck out of this because I want to know what this is about, this show Picard. And from what I can tell, it's got a very big Borg setting. There's a lot of issues around the Borg, and also, if you've seen her, the girl that goes to Picard for help.
Yes.
People are like, who is this girl?
Right.
And when she goes to Picard, we're wondering, is she going to Picard because she has daddy issues and maybe Picard's her father? Okay, well, we don't know yet. But there's something in her that sends her to Picard, and what could that be? And I'm sorry to say that none of these shows that I'm about to say have anything to do with that. I just want to mention her because she's... Who the hell is this girl?
Well, you know, I've been thinking about it. I've been looking at it, and Hugh is in this new Star Trek, right?
Yes, he is.
Hugh is a big piece of the lore that comes with liberating somebody from the Borg. And Hugh worked, if the story goes, they found a Borg, a young juvenile.
He's played by Jonathan Del Arco.
Yes, and this happened back in Star Trek The Next Generation, where they liberated one Borg drone. And that Borg drone was basically sent back to the collective, and it caused a liberating effect through a viral attempt of a ego or a self-identity built into...
self-identity, yes.
Okay, so Hugh subversion continued to happen, and he's in Star Trek Picard. So maybe I was thinking, what if Hugh was supposed to be a viral effect against the Borg through a reprogramming option? What if this possible character could be Hugh's daughter?
You know, I have thought about that. She's either Hugh's daughter, or another theory out there is that she's the reincarnated Borg queen.
Oh,
I know that Alice Kriege did. I think I'm sorry if I'm not saying that name right. She did an amazing job, and to be honest, I'm hoping that this young woman is not that, because I think that the Borg queen definitely should have died with the rifle.
yeah.
I'm serious. She scared the hell out of me. Alice Kriege again. Scared the hell out of me.
So we definitely want to watch the Hugh episodes.
Yes, it's Borg, Season 5, Episode 23.
On Star Trek The Next Generation.
Yes,
and wasn't he also in a one on Voyager at one point?
They do, and yes, they do. And unfortunately, you've caught me with my pants down because I don't remember which one that was.
I don't remember myself.
But another one? Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, if you want to text us at 405-534-4747 with that information, if you want to Google that, toss that our way, we will appreciate it. If not, we'll throw it in the next show.
Yeah, and okay, here's some more that might catch you up. And all these are, of course, Borg-inspired. So there's The Gift from Star Trek Voyager, Season 4, Episode 7. This is the episode that deals with Seven Nines. This is where she becomes an individual and has kind of her implants removed. This is where Seven Nines becomes, is hodified? Is that a word?
Hodified.
Okay, hodified. We'll deal with
hair.
that one.
Yeah.
Oh, good Lord.
And that thing taken out of her eye, which made it, so.
Yeah. No. Okay, and then let's make it a movie night. Let's do the 1996, The Next Generation First Contact.
Heck yeah.
Okay, so this is a relationship between the Borg and the Federation, as well as the fight that our beloved character Picard has to go through. Because he was, obviously assimilated.
Yeah. No, yeah.
Yeah, and this new one, he's having visions. The new Picard, I think that I've seen in the trailer, that he's having visions of what happened to him. Because how the hell can you erase that? Well, you can't. There's not enough therapy. I'm sorry. I just, in the world.
Yeah, everybody talks about having a hive mind and when you're connected to a hive mind. And one day I might even be able to talk a little bit more about spirituality with that hive mind, because some people have a belief that heaven is nothing but a hive mind. But before we go deeper into that, let me go ahead and say next week's episode is going to be about, nerds are going to love this, AlphaNerds, Dungeons and Dragons. Why? Because when I was a child, Dungeons and Dragons were of the occult. And all this horrible things about losing your children to witchcraft or Dungeons and Dragons. And yeah, I've had some pretty horrible experiences tied to that misnomer and miscredibility with a kind of more horrible, let's just save it for next week before I get into some of the more condemning childhood experiences that revolved around Dungeons and Dragons. And then we're going to talk about how Dungeons and Dragons could actually help save certain people's spirituality.
I have never heard of such a thing.
I know.
I know. I just really haven't. I mean, that's just the craziest thing to me.
Well, people say that that God will find ways to provide grace, and sometimes
I've seen it. I've seen that.
Yeah, perhaps even through something like Dungeons and Dragons. But for tonight, we are done. And I thank everybody out there in AlphaNerd.online listeners to please come back Wednesday, 9 p.m. Central Time next week, where we will discuss more, and see you then.